Hello, Data Voyages. I am Igor Alcantara, and I'm here to show you another use case of MCP, the protocol that connects LLMs with basically any APIs using something that we developed at IPC Global. So this is another use case in addition to the one my colleague and Qlik Community MVP Mark Costa showed in a previous video. So you can check all of this and more at the Data Voyages YouTube channel. So you can go to youtube.com slash Data Voyages. Make sure you subscribe so you get notifications when we publish other videos. So I am here to show you another use case using Claude Desktop where I can connect to Qlik Answers. And basically the way Qlik Answer works is you need to build a knowledge base first, and then you need to build an assistant that can have from 1 up to 5 knowledge bases linked to the assistant. And then you need to ask a question. And so let's say you have multiple assistants. In order to ask a question in Qlik Answers, at least in the version we have currently available as I'm recording and publishing this video, in order to ask a question to a certain knowledge base, you need to go to the assistant to have access to that knowledge base. There is no way, at least until now, that you can ask a question in some kind of a general and kind of a centralized assistant that can look into all the assistants. However, that feature, that limitation, we can overcome by using MCP. So that's what I'm going to show you in this video today. So let's go ahead and let me share my screen. So we have here my Claude desktop, which has a lot of MCPs connected. So we have the Qlik server MCP. They're mostly Mark Costa and I collaborated a little bit. Also, we both developed that MCP, and also like Snowflake and Atlassian and Microsoft 360. And so there was a lot of MCPs connected so we can collaborate with one to another. But right now, let me show you just the use case of Qlik Answers. So let me go ahead and let me ask just a simple question. List all Qlik Answers assistants available to me. So because my Qlik MCP needs my basically developer token to authenticate to it, and I have that configured in my Claude desktop config file, then basically it's using my credentials. I'm not overpassing over like going to any backdoor kind of security. So it's respecting my user access. So then it look at it and we can see the actual call that it did. And we can see that it uses something in AI we call the line of thought. So it shows you every step. And basically, it gave me all the assistance. But not only that, because it's an LLM, so it's smart enough to actually categorize, which is something that I did not ask you, categorize by type. So healthcare and medical, these are the ones that I have. Business and operations, these are the ones that I have. And sports and recreation, public sector, specialized domain, and so on. So I have these 16 assistants that are available to my user. Now, let me go ahead and ask a question without specifying what assistant it should look into it. So let me ask, for example, what is CVT? And then why I'm asking this question, basically the way we program this, so we'll look into the different assistants in order to find the assistant that can provide the answer. So interesting enough, it found the answer. CVD stands for cardiovascular disease, and then it gave me the answer. And in order to do that, it uses one of those assistants. Which one? Actually, it tells me. It used the Framingham Heart Study assistant. Great. So that was one of my assistants. Let me ask you another question. Now, only, and let me make sure that I'm informed. I only want to use the information that are contained in one of my knowledge bases. Only using um, Qlik Answers assistants. Tell me what are the different plans we can offer to customers. So then I'll ask that question. Now it will look into a different assistant in order to give me that question. So it found the customer assistant, which is one of the Qlik Answers assistant, and then probably give me something like red plan, purple plan, etc. That's one of the demos that one of the popular demos that we have for customer churn and other things. So it's giving that, and then based on the customer assistant, then the red plan and the blue plan, and so on. And then I can further ask questions like I can follow up the question because then it keeps the context, has memory of the context, like what would be the best plan if I want 4G, etc. So now for a final question, let's ask something like how many NBA titles does the Boston Celtics, my Boston Celtics, have? Base your answer only on Qlik Answers assistants. I should start with that, like say from now on I only use Qlik Answers assistant, but then so I don't have to repeat it every single time. Actually, I don't think I have repeated it every single time, but just to make 100% sure it's not going outside of Qlik Answers and just going to the underlying LLM knowledge base. Now it find the Boston Celtics assistant, and then there we go. There are some limitations with Claude. Basically, this conversation it was a long conversation, but actually there is interesting news. There's an interesting thing to test. So I can create a new chat and just copy the same question and ask again. I'll have a new chat. Actually, that is an interesting point. I only ask a few questions. Why it reached the limit of Claude is because the limit of messages includes actually the JSON that is being generated and passing through. And the way we program this, because there's no way we actually know in advance which assistant will have the answer we want. So we've got to test one by one. So that's why a simple question like that gets longer use of the in terms of messages. So basically, we come up with the JSON input for the API endpoint. We send it that, getting a response back, and then underline the curtain. That's actually a long message because it's passing JSON. No, it was able to answer my question based on the assistant that was found. So basically, that's the use case that I want to present today. I don't want to make this a very long video. We'll publish more videos, Mark Hossa and I, about other use cases. There was a video that is coming up that will be recording showing a very interesting case showing machine learning like Qlik Predict, how I can access Qlik Predict from here, get data that I can put manually or from a database, from Snowflake, from whatever data source, and basically communicate that to Qlik Predict, get prediction, get results back, explanation, all of that using MCP. So I hope you enjoy this. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Data Voyages. See you next time.